Welcome one, welcome all to Pit Road Productions for round 4 of the No Limit Racing League, sponsored of course by P1 Sim Sports. We're here at round 4, Eldora Speedway. This is a true classic, one of the first dirt ovals to be added to iRacing, and perhaps one of the most famous dirt ovals in the world, save for maybe Knoxville. Eldora is fast, Eldora has plenty of high average speeds, and you want to run the top the whole way around if you want to be fast. I'm Rhys Gardner with Daniel Salmon alongside me in the comms box, here to bring you these live pictures on Pit Road Productions. Well, Zippy, I'm looking forward to Eldora. This is something that since this was on the schedule, I've had in my calendar.
Well, certainly, I gotta be honest, I do not know jack all about this dirt oval stuff, but I'm definitely glad I have my much more knowledgeable, much more excitable colleague with me, Mr. Rhys Gardner as well, the Southpaw racer himself. But Rhys, I gotta be honest, I have tried these, I definitely sucked at it, and I gotta say, it's very much like golf. You get a whole other respect. It's a lot harder than it looks, but I believe this is actually gonna be the one we've actually got an even longer race. If I remember rightly, it's a 50-lapper today, Rhys.
Yes, indeed. This is the mid-season championship, I believe, for No Limit Racing. So this is going to result in a bit more of a significant night, a longer feature, and plenty more at stake. Plenty of championship points on offer as well. But yeah, we've got a decent amount of cars in the server at the moment, and it'll be just about time to get in on that action.
Well, speaking of the action, let's take a quick peek at the schedule, ladies and gentlemen. They started at Lanier, they went to Charlotte, Cedar Lake, and then round 4 takes us to Eldora Speedway. Before we head to round 5 for Valosia Speedway, round 6 is at Fairbury, with round 7 Lernerville. I believe that's one of your favourites there, Rhys, with Knoxville for round 8, and then the finale at the Lucas Oil Speedway. But Rhys, why don't you take us a quick step here through the championship points?
Yes, of course. Making your way through in P1 is Jackson Whittington, and he's certainly been the pace setter this whole season thus far. Dustin Regan got about 2/3 of his points, and only 5 points behind him is William Kirk. A very close championship between those guys. Mike Henderson and Kenneth Feeney 30 points apart in the battle for 4th place, with James Dorr rounding out your top 6. Ben Wilson on 405. Garrett Hommel 5 points behind, another 5 points behind, and you see Jared Miller with Thomas Hall getting 170 points. Unfortunately, wasn't quite able to get the run he wanted at the previous round. Dustin Hall, Ryan Gillett, and Daniel Worthington thus far, no points to their name. We have a solid amount of these guys in the server right now, and looking good for a close fight.
Oh, absolutely. And I am hearing apparently there's a $40 bounty on Jackson Whittington. I have asked Mo to explain that a little bit more. It's fair to say I'm definitely in a little bit of confusion there. Definitely not something that I've seen before. But Rhys, maybe you can work out what's going on with that.
I don't know. I guess potentially it's either some extra prize money that's been put on offer, or potentially they're just tired of Jackson winning everything, because that's basically been the story of the season so far.
Well, certainly he has indeed been a complete weapon, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, he's out there at the minute, running a couple of test laps for us, you know, just having a little bit of fun there. Looks like he's scraping a lot. Might be me, it might just be the graphics there, Rhys, but I gotta say, some interesting stuff. We're getting ready for this practice session to come to a close very shortly.
Absolutely, we are. And, well, 5 seconds remain before the 5 minutes of qualifying, over which drivers will get 2 laps to set their times for the heats. And I'm expecting we're going to be seeing 2 heats from tonight before we jump into the feature. Everyone disappears right off the racetrack, and we are away here at Eldora for qualifying, waiting to see who the first driver out on track is going to be. They often do wait a few moments before they go out. It looks like Garrett Hommel in the number 42 is the first one out here, and so you'll get a taste here of Eldora from a single driver's perspective, Zippy. It is a super wide track, and it's one of those circuits that, especially in sprint cars, you have to run the top. In the late model, you can run the top. It certainly works out well, but And looks like Hommel is comfortable running that middle line at the moment. Super high average speeds here.
Yeah, definitely. If you're trying to tell me that these guys are going 110, 115 mile an hour sideways on dirt, albeit very briefly there. He did manage to get a time posted though, but definitely, for lack of better words, a bigger set of stones than me. And I do believe he's got a little bit of damage now on the right front of that car. It does appear that the body has indeed have a little bit of a lip curl there going on that right front corner.
Yeah, he can't swing it round for another slide. He's unfortunately going to have to pull out on that one. Garrett Hommel will only have a 15.495 second lap to his name. Waiting on the likes of Ben Wilson to improve. 15.5 for him, 15.6 for William Kirk, and Jackson Whittington, there we go, immediately to the top, 15.2. 15.3 from Dustin Regan as well, a 15.4 from Jared Miller. Some solid separations between the drivers here, but we'll wait and see if there's any improvements from those other than Jackson Whittington. He certainly improved himself, up to a 15.1.
Well, definitely a lot of these drivers going out, putting in some nice tidy lap times as well. Some nice paints on display as well. I'm actually liking the green and purple combination. I find that works quite well for me. But definitely we have got a cheer for this guy in the chat. It's the number 93 of Thomas Hall. We have Edward Westbrook, a.k.a. Sinister Chaos, absolutely cheering for this guy.
Yeah, Thomas Hall here was, I believe, working very nicely at Cedar Lake, and unfortunately, wasn't able to get to the finish in a proper sense, though he had amazing pace. Wait and see what his first lap time is going to be. And actually didn't get a lap time that first time around. Just tapped the wall. James Dorr moving up to 5th place as Hall turns in for 3 and 4. Straighten the car up as early as you can. You got to keep it straight around Eldora, and it's a 15.38. for Thomas Hall, good enough for 6th overall. And it looks to me like that'll be good enough for maybe 3rd place in Heat 2, potentially, depending on how the guys are split. Kenneth Feeney, the last driver to set a lap time here in the qualifying session, Zippy.
Oh, definitely. Oh, there it is. I guess that's the end
to get it done.
I guess that's the end of his qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Some fun stuff indeed. But you got to say, definitely a different kind of format than we're used to here on Pit Road Productions. At least what I'm used to on Pit Road Productions. Let's have a quick look at the grid for this race.
Absolutely. Jackson Whittington starting on pole position for the first heat, with Mike Henderson alongside him on the front row. James Dorr and Jared Miller will line up 3rd and 4th, with Ben Wilson and Ken Feeney rounding out your 6-car field here. They're already pulling away behind the iRacing pace truck, and we will get 2 formation laps here before we get things started for the race here. This is going to be a real fun one. Someone's got a Lightning McQueen paint scheme now. Looks like that's James Dorr who's decided to switch that one up. Nice. Let's see how much ka-chowing James Dorr's going to do around here. Because, remember, there's 6 cars in this one. And actually, I think we might see something come into play here. The server seems to be set up so that only the top 5 will transfer through into the feature. So one of the drivers in this field is likely going to be going home.
Well, there you go. There's a bit more information about that. We do have the bounty on Jackson Whittington. It is 50 bonus points in the championship and $40 as well. I've got to say, that is one hell of a compliment to be that recognized that, you know, they've literally got a bounty on you. I mean, this is more aggressive than a session in Grand Theft Auto Online in public lobbies, ladies and gentlemen. As green, Whittington is away, and the race indeed is underway as well.
Yeah, well, looks like it's going to be tough to beat Jackson Whittington from here. He's already out to a half a second lead over Mike Henderson. James Dorr and Jared Miller fighting hard over the 3rd place through turns 3 and 4 on the first lap. Running a little bit high there for Mr. Miller. Meanwhile, Ben Wilson behind is keeping Kenneth Feeney at bay, but only just. Close racing for the last transfer spot there. That's going to be important come the end of this race. but McQueen is on his way as the number 78 of James Dorr closes in on Mike Henderson for second place. It's going to be difficult to try and pull the move here at Eldora because it's very easy to cover the inside line.
Well, definitely you can see a very good view there of that Rusty's car, that Lightning McQueen machine, and definitely putting in a hard day's work as he's looking to make a move up on the inside. He's got the low line. Is he going to be able to carry the momentum? Right now, James Dorr is currently in second place ahead of Mike Henderson, but can he hold on to it as we are on laps 5 of 8?
Yeah, could have moved up, but wasn't able to. For James Dorr, he's got to try and park it there on the line so that there isn't a chance for Henderson to respond. It's going to be the last couple of laps. Turning up in just a moment as Henderson tries ripping the top here, trying to ride something resembling a cushion, but dipping back down low. He's going to have to maybe get the chrome horn out if he wants to get back past James Dorr for second spot, but all of this is far away from Jackson Whittington, halfway around his penultimate lap. He's completely untroubled out the front as the battle continues behind.
Well, absolutely fantastic battle there, and I got to say, it's a beautiful display of driver skill, being able to keep these things in check. As you see, it's almost like tandem drifting, but a lot more dirt involved, as it looks like Henderson was trying to fight back as he went up on the inside, not quite able to get it done, gets slowed right down, and now is Jared Miller going to be able to try and make a move there on Henderson? As sadly not, that indeed brings us to the checkers.
Yes, that was a move right at the checkered flag. That was very close between the two of them. And ultimately, a bit of drama at the back because Ben Wilson was unable to maintain that 5th spot. Kenneth Feeney ended up getting past him in the end. So it looks like Ben Wilson is unfortunately going to be sent home after this heat, depending on how things go in the night to come. Well, it's time for Heat 2, and we are only going to get 2 heats before the feature. Dustin Regan starting on pole position for this one, with Daniel Worthington joining him on the front row. Thomas Hall and Garrett Hommel 3rd and 4th, with William Kirk rounding out the top 5. This is just a formality to set the last grid spots for the feature. No one is in danger of getting booted out after this.
Well, I've got to say, fair play. It looks like Feeney, I am hearing, may or may not make it because he's got baseball practice for his kid. He's jumped in an attempt to make the feature. Certainly that 50-lapper is going to be an absolute belter. I got to be honest, I keep enjoying watching this more and more, Rhys. It's one of the few things where I enjoy how close they are, but I've got absolutely zero driver skill.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, I'm not the greatest of dirt racers either, but I do have a go at it from time to time, and being able to feel the grip on the track and being able to get into that rhythm where you can change your line lap to lap and find the grip in various places, it still gives you a great perspective into what these guys are doing, especially in these quite powerful pro late models, basically wedges on wheels, these things with carbureted V8 engines. It's old school as heck, and we're about to get things started for the second heat here with Dustin Regan leading us away. Daniel Worthington up on the outside in the number 13, and maybe a bit slow to respond there because Thomas Hall is immediately past him and into second spot. That was a perfect response there from the number 93, but Worthington is fighting back around the outside.
Absolutely fantastic stuff there. Certainly Thomas Hall being cheered on in the chat by Edward Westbrook, the Sinister Chaos himself, cheering on the 93 as it looks like Worthington riding the rail there. And I have got to wonder, maybe a little bit of a teamwork going on there between himself and Hommel. Very similar paints. I'm not sure there is any teams in this, but definitely right now the gloves are certainly off as they're almost free wide coming out of that turn.
Yeah, but you see how Hall translated that mistake into a great run. He was able to basically just straight line the exit of the corner and get some great momentum, and he's back into second place, but he's getting pressured by Garrett Hommel, and it's so close at these speeds. I tell you what, Dustin Regan isn't getting away from these guys either. This is a proper 3-way fight for the lead.
Absolutely fantastic stuff as they have indeed hit the halfway point, and Regan is still able to hold on, but right now it looks like Hommel trying to apply a little bit of pressure to Thomas Hall. Well, Evington's dropped out of it a little bit, and William Kirk definitely a little bit on his own terms right now, but the battle indeed for the lead is continuing. Hall is in the middle. Can he make a move in the final stages of this heat?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to make a move at Eldora when you're up to speed. 2.5 laps remaining on the ticker. Regan is running high. He is ripping the wall with that right rear tyre as Thomas Hall is trying his best to defend from Garrett Hommel, who is going to dry up the inside here. Hasn't got enough momentum for the slide job, but he'll have another opportunity on the next lap if he can keep that momentum up. It's now between Regan and Hall for the win of the race. White flag out. In the air, 15 threes from our top two. They are so well matched here. Last chance for Thomas Hall to try and get a move. He's going to keep to the inside here, but it doesn't look like there's enough grip. The momentum is with Dustin Regan, and he wins the second heat.
Absolutely fantastic drive there, but I gotta say that indeed was incredibly close, and certainly I don't think anybody's told him he's hit the checker at this point. This guy's still going for it. Fair play to him, but absolutely fantastic stuff there from Regan. Let's take a quick look at those results, actually.
Yes, indeed. So Dustin Regan winning by merely 1/10 of a second there over Dustin Regan, who actually got the faster lap on the final lap of Thomas Paul, was looking at the wrong timing screen. Garrett Hommel finishes in 3rd place with Worthington and Kirk rounding out the field. And good news, I am incorrect in my presumption. It looks like Ben Wilson will make it to the grid here for the feature, but Whittington's going to be starting on pole for it. Dustin Regan joining him on the front row. James Dorr and Thomas Hall on row 2. Henderson and Hommel, row 3. Jared Miller starts 7th alongside Daniel Worthington, and then Kenneth Feeney, William Kirk, and Ben Wilson round out your 11-car grid. Now, before we get into the full action of this one as they go around their formation laps, let's talk briefly about the sponsor of the No Limit Racing League, P1 Sim Sports. Of course, we've seen some great support from P1 Sim Sports over the course of the season. They supply high-end sim racing components and tailor-made sim racing rigs to casual users, esports sim racers, real-life race car drivers, and event organizers. Their state-of-the-art designs create an immersive, ergonomic, and realistic experience that focuses on driver comfort, engagement, and feedback, all critical if you want to be competitive. Their unique approach helps create the ultimate experience for you, whether you're just getting started, want to grow over time, or have it all today. They also 3D print nameplates for the winners of this season of No Limit Racing. I believe you might have one on the way too, Zippy.
Mine's already here and on the rig. Honestly, Rhys, it showed up and I was like, it even came with a bag of candy, but this is one for the league admin there. I gotta say, as a freebie referral program, that is pretty damn cool. Certainly some good stuff.
Yeah.
It bolts the rig. They even send you the hardware, and I believe the conditions are they have to sign up and run one race for you to qualify for that. So I actually managed to pick somebody up from a Twitch chat and got them in here, and it's fair to say, yep, I'm enjoying that plaque directly on my rig right now.
Well, we're going to be enjoying this race start because that was a bit interesting
Oh,
there
yellow.
between... Yep, yellow out already. It looks like race control threw the caution flag manually because there was a bit of a lack of coordination on the start. So Jackson Whittington and Dustin Regan both together on the front row. There was some miscommunication, I think, about the start, and Dustin Regan was just not on it. He fell right back. Now, sometimes that can be classed as a botched start in dirt racing, and the caution will be brought out to get everyone just back under control and hopefully for a better start later. But yeah, there might have been another reason for that we missed.
I definitely didn't see anything, but I know right now I'm getting all sorts of warnings because the guys are coming to a stop as they're letting the pace truck go by.
Yeah.
It's a busy time. I would not want to be trying to go up event locks alone, ladies and gentlemen, but certainly race control, very seasoned, very professional, and definitely these drivers very much get the benefit of really enjoying that. Certainly to find any series that has active race control is incredibly rare. Then to find it in a dirt oval as well, incredible stuff.
Yeah, indeed. You know, we have a similar setup for the Oceanic Dirt Sim Events Australian Sprint Car Championships. We've got a few guys in race control that don't necessarily throw cautions themselves, but they make judgments on who calls cautions and give them end-of-line penalties depending on who is deemed at fault. It's a really good setup, and it's great to see something similar happening here for No Limit Racing. Well, lights are off on the pace truck, so it looks like we're going to be getting a run going here to the next part of this feature. Still on the first lap, as Whittington is going to pull away here, and no, there's been another miscommunication. Yeah. That is very early. Yeah, I just got the message from the iRacing spotter that we were not going green. Apparently Mo extended the caution by 1 lap. Now there's 2 laps to green again. I think they might have to slow down to let the pace truck by again.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting for sure. Like, he was ready to go. He cheesed it, and I'm like, well, the truck's still there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he's definitely, Whittington is the most seasoned driver in here. He's rocking just short of, just over 2,300 I rating, so he's definitely the most potent guy in here. Mike Henderson coming in second with almost 2,100, with Garrett Hummel around the 1,700 mark. But definitely, oh, green.
We're going now.
Okay, all right.
We're properly going now. So Jackson. Oh, the caution's immediately out. What's going on? What's happened? No one's crashed, from what I can see. I think there might be some timing issues that are happening here. I think we might have to consult someone about exactly what's going on, because I do know that sometimes there can be issues with the timing of the pace truck if there are back-to-back cautions. It's a known issue with some ovals on the service, but I genuinely don't know.
Well, I'm in the same kind of boat right now. My timing screen is, for lack of better words, it's schizophrenic right now, and it's absolutely just, it's having a little bit of a fit there. It's telling me Whittington is now back in first. It told me he was lapped just a few moments ago, so definitely some interesting stuff. They have indeed caught up to the pace truck. Is this the 3rd or the 4th time we're going for this one, Rhys?
I've lost count already. I'm just going to assume that it's 4th. The lights are definitely on the pace truck, and we'll hopefully be able to get a solid start
lights going are out.
Here. Yeah, lights are out. So please, let's get some racing down here for the mid-season championship at Eldora in the No Limit Racing League. This late model series has proved fantastic thus far. And Eldora is already showing that it's going to provide one heck of a show. We still have all 11 cars running, which is good to see. But pushing quite the limit here on the restarts is Jackson Whittington. And away we go. Ready for the start. Whittington leads into turn 1. Dustin Regan holding to the outside there, but it looks like the 313 of Mike Henderson is going to be having a go for second, maybe the lead around the outside, defending from James Dorr, who sits down low. Thomas Hall on the outside looking in the yellow number 93 with the 42 of Garrett Hummel starting to lose a bit of pace behind and coming under pressure from Jared Miller.
Well, certainly Jared Miller, we've seen, can be one of the spicier drivers in the league, but currently keeping that car going, absolutely nice to tell. But James Dorr, he's very much getting the battle along with the crowd favourite today of Thomas Hall. These guys side by side, but it looks like Henderson trying to make up a move on Dustin Regan as he's taking a very wide line there. Is it going to pay off for him? He will have the momentum, but the door pretty much shut in front of him with the 33 of Regan.
Yeah, I think Henderson got stuck in the wall there. He was attempting to get a move done, but the angle just wasn't right. Now he's getting pressured by Thomas Hall, who is continually sticking it up the inside, running middle of the road through the corners. But you see the momentum that he loses on the exits. That is the disadvantage of the tighter line. But I tell you what, there has been no breakaway in the lead from Jackson Whittington. He's under big pressure from this entire group.
Well, certainly there is indeed a high bounty going on, as it looks like Henderson is now getting really hung out to dry, and that's contact on the wall. It's a nudge. I think we're going to stay green. It certainly wasn't a full wreck, but definitely not what he had in mind. It will compromise the car. We'll have to see if he can keep hold of it as this race continues. You see there the 70 of Jared Miller up on the inside, and yep, we've gone yellow.
Okay, what exactly is the reason? I see Kenneth Feeney with some damage, and potentially this is the reason for it. So he was...
boink.
Oh dear, yeah. Just lost it up the middle of the corner there, coming down, and then big old smash. Feeney was reporting earlier that he wasn't having any sound come through his headset. He's managed to get a fast repair and get himself back out there. He will still be running in 11th place on the lead lap because laps, of course, do not count under caution.
Well, we do want to have a little bit of a look, actually, at Mike Henderson's car, if we can, because I have a feeling he's got a little bit of damage, but, I mean, I didn't see him come in the pits. He may have already, he may have got away with that, but I think he's actually got quite lucky in this scenario.
Yeah, it seems like it. He's, he has been pushing the limit a bit too much, I think, coming into the corners there. It is looking reasonably clean, yes, but we got to remember sometimes it's those little bits of hits to the suspension that can make all the difference. And I did see that Henderson was having a bit of trouble keeping it out of the wall up high. If he can manage that, then maybe he'll be able to have a proper run back up onto the podium spots, because ultimately those hits to the wall what lost him that.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like he has got away with it right now, and actually no big movers actually in the order so far, except for Ben Wilson. He's currently up 2 positions, is what timing tells me. As we are going green, ladies and gentlemen, green, 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 and Whittington once again in the 5-1-1 starts off the race.
Yeah, and Dustin Regan was absolutely nowhere on the restart. I think he jumped the gun a little bit. He didn't want to pass Jackson Whittington on the outside because you can't do that in dirt racing. And so there was a bit of a delay, and Whittington just streaked away. And so Regan finds himself back in 4th here on this second proper restart of the race, and Thomas Hall finding himself in 2nd. The battle is on between Mike Henderson and James Dorr. There's Dorr in the Lightning McQueen car on the inside doing the slider. He covers him off. That's how you do a slide job, but it's also brought Jared Miller right into it, and we could be going 3 wide for 4th place. Oh my
gosh. This is insane.
Oh, I love this. James
How are they getting away with this? Oh.
This is amazing. This is fantastic. This is Eldora, mate. This is why it is such a loved circuit. You are learning this for the first time, Zippy. And in the midst of this all, Mike Henderson minding his own business up the front of this pack. The 13 of Daniel Worthington getting into it with Garrett Hommel as well. Side by side.
Regan.
As to the lead goes Dustin Regan. Wow, what happened there? Jackson Whittington losing a bit of pace. It seems like Regan got the red mist on after he missed the cue on the restart.
Well, certainly, I don't know who put a rocket in this guy's tailpipe, but it's definitely on the afterburner, and he's currently leading. He's up 1 spot, Thomas Hall in 2nd, and Whittington currently pushed back down into 3rd. I guess Regan was incentivized by them 50 bonus points and $40. Certainly, that is definitely a welcome bonus. All he has to do is hold on for another 35 laps, and that's definitely easier than it sounds, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, Jared Miller up 3 positions from the start.
Oh, caution's out. I think there's been a problem for Daniel Worthington. Worthington has lost his front left. That's a very damaged car. He was running in 8th place at the time, and it looks to me like he was going up the inside, and unfortunately, quite a large smash as he made his way through. I'm just reviewing that again on my end. Yeah, he tried going up the inside, but moved himself up, a bit of contact with the 42 of Garrett Hommel. I don't think that was really Hommel's fault necessarily. Potentially a bit more of a 50-50 sort of deal, but regardless, both of the front wheels of Daniel Worthington's car were smashed off, and he wasn't able to pilot that thing back to the pits, so he's currently towed.
That's definitely unfortunate. Fair play to him there. That wheel definitely, it detached. I mean, for a camera shot, it was pretty nice. And has he disconnected? No, he's still there. We're good.
No, Yep, he's fine. He's just going to be spending a while in the pits there and may very well go a lap or two down if the race restarts while he's still in the pits. The green flag has been delayed. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe to get Worthington back out there, but regardless, there's been a lot of extensions to cautions, some interesting timing shenanigans going on at the start. This time, Dustin Regan is the one who's going to lead us away. This is the first time all night that Jackson Whittington has not led a restart. And we saw how much of an advantage he would gain on those restarts. He was certainly, you know, getting the elbows out a little bit, making a little bit of side-to-side contact with whoever was on the front row with him on those restarts too. So let's see what Regan will be able to do about that, as Worthington is indeed back out on the racetrack. And I believe that is the reason why the caution was delayed, so that Worthington was able to get back out there and we would continue to have 11 cars racing here. That is a fantastic gesture by the organisers, as Regan is going to lead us away. Whittington following him very closely, but I tell you what, it wasn't just Jackson Whittington who was making those big moves on the restarts. It seems like Thomas Hall, who's trying to get back up into second, missed the cue on that restart as well. The outside is not successful here at Eldora on restarts, but how successful is the 93 going to be, as that was a piece of debris falling off something.
That's Whittington.
Oh, yeah, so close between Henderson and Hall. The needle being threaded, and yeah, it looked like it was Jackson Whittington, a piece of something falling off his car. And it's 3 wide again between James Dorr, Jared Miller, and Garrett Hommel. Fantastic racing once again. They are giving each other just enough space and not a little bit more. Daniel Worthington now getting back into it there after having to lose out with that damage. A little bit of wall ride in there from the number 70 of Jared Miller. Oh, he's threading the needle across the top. And Garrett Hommel leaving just enough room there to the outside. What a race. Trades for the lead meanwhile. Whittington and Regan have been swapping spots for the lead of the race. Whittington's going to try and get up the inside here at turn 3.
Oh, no, that's not going to end well. Definitely some contact in there. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is like a high-speed game of Cucaracha, and it's fair to say there's no rhythm, as Regan has just had contact with the wall. Is he going to be able to keep piloting that car? He's certainly given it an effort. Definitely took a little bit of damage there. May have got away with it, and it's dropped him back down into 4th place.
Yeah, here comes Mike Henderson then. He is the one leading the charge to try and beat Jackson Whittington here and get that $40 and 50 extra championship points. Thomas Hall following him very, very closely in the yellow and black machine. We're almost about to tick over half race distance. Remember, it's a 50-lap feature and caution laps don't count. We're going to be here for a bit. The lead is closing up once more, and Thomas Hall's doing the thing he was doing in the heat of looking a little bit further down, at least in turns 1 and 2, as it's a little bit slow off the exit there for Jackson Whittington, and now Mike Henderson is right on him, but Whittington covers the low line.
Just think about it. You're trying to make these passes and they're making these decisions while they're going about 100 mile an hour sideways. It is definitely incredible stuff to watch as we got battles happening throughout the field right now. But right now, this is the hottest one going, as it is indeed Mike Henderson versus Thomas Hall. These guys side by side, lap after lap, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to kick in as well with Jared Miller here. We have a trio of cars, James Dorr, Dustin Regan, and Jared Miller. All of these guys all looking to try and make their way up through the order, maybe slowing each other down a bit as you see Jared Miller dragging the arse end of that car along the wall for the moment.
Yeah, looks like Dustin Regan has been having some trouble there since losing the lead, but he is trading with James Dorr very nicely, and they're not too far behind the lead pack either. Jared Miller in that number 70 was the fastest car on track last time by. He was 2/10 faster than the leaders, and for that matter, looks like Regan, Dorr, and Miller may have been slightly faster than our leaders a couple of laps ago as well. So this race is far from over. Any of these drivers could win this. The leaders just holding station for the moment.
Well, I'm starting to see, it looks like they were, if I understand rightly, Rhys, that big dirty line at the top that you see here that Mike Henderson's riding in, that's where the grip is, if I'm not mistaken. By all means, definitely correct me here, but I'm very much a novice in this scenario. And right now, I gotta say, it is incredible craftsmanship to be able to go and hang the back end of that car as Henderson's gone very low.
Yep, that's the slide job being done right there. The issue is you lose that momentum up top on the exit, and Henderson is going to have to face a response from Jackson Whittington there. Contact almost between Thomas Hall and Mike Henderson. That was some great car control from the two of them. Another slider from Mike Henderson and contact from Thomas Hall. Jackson Whittington is in trouble.
Well, the best way to describe this race right now is indeed balls to the wall, and that is exactly the size of the cojones that these guys are rocking with. Incredible driving. As you see Henderson going side by side again with Whittington. It is the battle of the Titans, ladies and gentlemen. And who's that looking to make a peak? Dustin Regan, ladies and gentlemen, re-emerging, and it looks like we're going to go back to 3 wide.
Yeah, once the leaders started battling like that, it opened up the opportunity for everyone else behind. Look at this. Dustin Regan is right in the midst of this all. Whittington trying to run the middle line. Thomas Hall trying to find whatever line he can. Nearly threads the needle. 3 wide on the way into turns 1 and 2. Actually, hold on. I think it's 3 and 4. Yeah, that's the start-finish line right there. I always lose track. But this is an incredible battle. Everything is going off at once here. This is dirt racing at its finest. I love this.
Oh, I'm having a lot of fun. The commentary bit's kind of gone out the window at this point. We're along for the ride as much as you guys are. As you see Whittington trying to go and capitalize on that, but nobody has been able to break away. Actually, the top 8 now are all very closely separated. Look, Jared Miller, he's at the back of that line. Then you got, there's a switch to Worthington. That's going to be a yellow. Himself and Garrett Hommel getting caught up in that, and that is definitely going to cool that race down.
Oh, and you know what? I think that yellow call might have worked out just in time for Thomas Hall. This is how it happened. It's a big slider attempt from Daniel Worthington. It just didn't work. And ultimately, Garrett Hommel involved in that through no fault of his own. But you saw that there for Mr. Hall. He was just ahead for second place when the caution was called. But actually, now that I think about it, I think the yellow might have been called just a couple of moments earlier. It looks like he's been classed in 3rd. So that was very close. That just goes to show you as that's one way to enter your pit box. It just goes to show you will fight all the way to the call of the yellow flag. You have to, because sometimes it can grant you an extra position. It didn't this time for Thomas Hall, but could in future cautions, so got to keep that in mind.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, this is the left rear corner of Jackson Whittington, and it's fair to say I believe that's got a little bit of damage on it, Rhys. Is that just my conclusion there, or are you getting the same thing?
Yeah, bodywork damage for sure. Suspension damage probably not. You know, these cars can take quite a beating on, you know, those sort of side-by-side bits of contact. It's only really heavy crashes into the wall that take the wheels off these things, and it really doesn't matter how the outside of the car looks in races like this. So you might look at those cars and think, oh wow, they're pretty damaged. Are they gonna have to come into the pits? No, they'll be fine.
Well, that was absolutely incredible. I see Edward's having a good time in the chat. I'm sorry I'm not replying more. Oh, you can see exactly what's distracting me right now, as it looks like they're going green, and it's going to be Dustin Regan starting us off, and he's absolutely slingshot that 33 car. Can he hold on to the lead? He needs to try and break away. Currently, we do have this the bounty on Jackson Whittington. Can he claim that as well as them 50 bonus championship points?
Oh, yellow out again. Something's gone wrong for William Kirk, it looks like. I'm seeing one of his wheels in a very strange spot. Let's see, from Kenneth Feeney's perspective, though. Oh, that's what started it. Yeah.
3-4 car involvement.
Oh, dear. Yeah, it was a bit messy, and, well, that's definitely not where you want your front right, up in the air for William Kirk. He was just able to squeeze into pit lane. Oh dear, it's not ideal for those drivers at the back. They're can sometimes be very difficult to judge your speed and the space that you have on a restart. We have to wait a little bit longer to get this race back going again.
Oh, I gotta admit, that was a lot of fun, though. I'm enjoying the cameras here as well, actually. You're definitely getting some different views. But, yeah, fun stuff here at Eldora.
Yeah, for sure. Lots and lots of fun. Love coming to Eldora in the virtual world. Every single time there's a race here, it's got some level of excitement, of passion, of drama. It's one of the most famous dirt ovals in the world for very good reason. Well, looks like there's been another timing issue with the pace car. They're just trying to bring it back around here. This is the problem, like the tracks like Eldora with long pit lanes and such. If there's back-to-back cautions, then the pace car will actually stay out, I think. I'm not sure exactly what happens, but something goes wrong with the AI of the pace car and the way things are sort of arranged with regards to the running orders and when they can go green. So they have to wait a little bit longer here.
It might just be me, Rhys, but I got a couple of these cars. I got yeah. Oh, lovely. I got a little bit of an extra curl on that right front. I'm looking at Dustin Regan and I think Mike Henderson as well. I think they've got a little bit of damage there compared to Jackson Whittington.
Yeah, potentially. Stand upside down and drink a glass of water if you need to, Zippy, as this race is going to get started once again. Dustin Regan leading us away with Mike Henderson going to second spot. Jackson Whittington trying to rip the top here on the exit. Is he going to be successful?
Contact!
He keeps second spot. Contact for third there between Mike Henderson and Thomas Hall, and they fall down the order to the back. T-boned. Two of the biggest contenders for victory out with only 10 laps to go. The caution is out.
I'll have mine medium rare, please, Rhys.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So some contact there up top, and then there was contact involving James Dorr. Hall gets right in to 313 of Henderson, and they just carried each other all the way to the exit of the corner. Looked a bit messy there, but I think it was just a coming together between three cars who all wanted the same piece of racetrack.
Well, certainly I'm glad for the fast repairs. You see Mike Henderson there crabbing that car into the pit lane. And I can see the pace truck there in the background, so he's going to have to catch up. But I've got to say, that is the good thing about these. Certainly the shorter tracks definitely don't make it too hard to try and unlap yourself. And certainly race control being able to facilitate that quite a bit as well.
Yeah, indeed they have. I do love how involved Mo is in race control in this event, because a lot of the time, the race control will just let the automatic cautions run their course and all that, and extend them if need be or whatever. But Mo goes in there and throws the cautions himself. He is watching the race. He is making sure that he is making the right decisions, and it's very similar to how it works in the real world. Well, we're going to find our way to this restart very shortly. Dustin Regan in the box seat here to try and take victory over Jackson Whittington. Remember, $40 and 50 extra championship points are on the line if you can beat Jackson Whittington. This is going to be a very tight fight. We wait for the call of the green flag when the pace truck comes in. Is there going to be a move towards the pits from here? There is. And now we bring things up to speed in just a couple of moments. Regan has it. And away we go. Green flag, 11 laps remaining here at Eldora Speedway. Jackson Whittington has got some great pace up high, but can he get it done up the inside? The slider for the lead of the race.
Well, it looks like Regan is very much trying to fight back as they're going side by side around this turn. Jackson Whittington's going to be on the inside. He's carrying a lot and he's lost a lot of momentum there. And that's Regan. He's been able to get ahead. Almost a car length in it. Now maybe a full car length, but can he carry that momentum as they keep going? You see Daniel Worthington and Jared Miller lurking in the background. Can they capitalize on that? Certainly we've seen Miller being one of the more aggressive drivers in the league. Certainly definitely keen to make a pass, but currently he's resting in P3.
A lot of slick up the top now. It's been used quite a bit, and everyone running up the top is starting to struggle to keep it out of the wall there. Only 7 laps remaining on my timing here as it's 3 wide, and the likes of Worthington and Dorr and Hommel all fighting as around the outside comes Jackson Whittington back to the lead of the race. He's had to work so hard for this lead tonight, but he's been able to get it done. Can he hold on? Carrying the momentum up top, caution back out. We're going to have a dash to the end here. Oh, this is going to be so good. It looks like potentially it was another problem for... oh, dear. Yeah, this is a multi-part incident here, Zippy. It looks
Where do you want me to go?
Mike Henderson.
Oh! We were just going to cross the track.
Oops. Yeah, that's not ideal. I think that might be Henderson's. So keep an eye on Henderson here. Yep, there it is. There's the wheel coming off. He actually made some contact there with the 42 of Garrett Hommel. And then in comes Kenneth and spins, and that's what actually brings out the caution.
That's different. Maybe we can see that again.
Yeah. Get another angle of that. Perhaps with a little bit more lead time so we can see the build up to that. Wait, was that? I think it actually might have been Hommel's wheel that fell off there. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Yep, okay. But I want to see the corner before. Just like to see how the lead up to that incident happened. Because, yeah, we've seen the contact, but what about
I am trying to find it. It's easier said than done. Let's try this one there.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Here we go. This is it.
Oh, there it is. There's contact there already. So
Hommel got the wall. It looks like maybe ran up a little bit. That's not ideal. Well, fortunately, everyone is has got unlimited fast repairs, I think. So we're able to get everyone back out there. Our top 4 have not visited the pits once this race, but here we go then. Nope. Final dash to the end. Jackson Whittington is going to lead the way here. We have 5 laps to go at Eldora Speedway. Jackson Whittington leading the race for the time being. It's between Jared Miller and James Dorr for second place. We didn't expect these two to be fighting for second. Still lots of damage there for Mike Henderson. He has no front bumper and probably not doing too well on the front suspension. Thomas Hall's trying to fight his way back up. The caution is back out again.
Ben Wilson, I think. Let's take a pick. Maybe Kenneth Feeney, actually.
Yeah, Ben Wilson and Kenneth Feeney fighting hard, but it looks like Feeney had a bit of trouble, had a bit of a tank slapper, came up into Wilson and got sent into the wall.
Another wheel gone loose.
Yep.
I'm enjoying the damage model on this.
Yeah, yeah, me too. We've had an awful lot of stray wheels find their way around Eldora here. Well, what this means is, once again, we are going to have a dash to the finish, but it's even shorter this time. We're only going to have 3 laps to go, maybe 2, when the green flag flies again.
Oh, Henderson's still, for lack of better words, his car's... Yeah. I mean, the car's there, but it's kind of like the movie Face Off, and it's fair to say that John Travolta is currently rocking some Nicolas Cage.
Well, at least he's got plenty of cooling going into his radiator.
Open concept.
Yes, open concept. That's it. Well, we'll find our way to the green flag again very shortly.
Lights are out.
Yep. And this time, James Dorr is looking at potentially a victory here. The number 13 of Daniel Worthington right in the midst of all of that as well. Jared Miller down low could try to follow Jackson Whittington to the green flag. Remember, beat Jackson Whittington is the big goal tonight. $40. That's 40 shiny American dollars and 50 championship points on the line as we are away for the green flag with 3 laps to go. Whittington again immediately up to the top. It's a big fight for second place. 3-way fight between Dorr, Worthington and Miller. Contact between Dorr and Worthington, and James will have to switch down low. That was great car placement there, keeping Dustin Regan behind. Regan, who'd been fighting for the lead for so long. But there's a lot of pace loss there for the number 78. Jared Miller's going to get back around him. And now Daniel Worthington is alone in pursuing Jackson Whittington.
White flag, white flag. Whittington has only got to hold on for one more lap. It looked like he was going to be taken away from the title, but certainly it is not how it's shaped out. As you see these guys continuing the battle, Worthington is pretty much left for dead at this point. You see Dorr hugging that inside line. Can Thomas Hall make a recovery? Certainly he's had good pace tonight, but oh dear, I felt sure I saw debris there, and I think they've gone checkered.
Yep, they have. It's all over in just 15 seconds, a lap of Eldora. And Jackson Whittington remains unbeaten.
Oh, boink.
Okay, well, the pit entry beat him for sure, but none of the other drivers on track could. Okay. That was actually contact from Dorr.
That's a little naughty, but I found it entertaining.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, looks like the $40 and 50 extra championship points will not be going to anyone tonight. James Dorr maybe making his feelings known a little bit.
He might get a bollocking for that.
Well, Whittington will crab his way onto victory lane. And
that's nice.
Yep. Not quite able to slow the car down in time for it. Regardless, lovely placement there. On the winner's stand here at Eldora Speedway. Looks like the feature is now official. Jackson Whittington, the winner here, with Daniel Worthington and Jared Miller completing the podium. James Dorr finishing in 4th spot, with Thomas Hall rounding out your top 5. Dustin Regan behind Garrett Hommel, Mike Henderson and Ben Wilson, your top 9. All of them could have had some chance at beating Jackson Whittington over the course of that feature. Kenneth Feeney and William Kirk having some late issues. Unfortunately involved in bringing out some of the cautions, but crucially, everyone managed to get to the finish here, which is fantastic to see. And that's going to be the race run, one and done for tonight. Hopefully, we get a chance to chat to some of our drivers soon.
Yeah, we'll give them a couple of minutes to get in here. I have just given Mo a PM saying, look, get these guys in here. Certainly, we have got a schedule to keep, ladies and gentlemen, and we do want to talk to you. Certainly, Whittington, he put in a good... we got Whittington and Worthington. I've got to be honest, it sounds very high class there. But actually, Daniel Worthington able to make up 6 spots, so he was the hard charger today. Jared Miller making up 3 as well. And actually, speaking of which... we've got Worthington in the interview room. We've got Jared Miller in the interview room. I tell you what, Rhys, why don't you have a chat with the 3rd place finisher, the 70 machine of Jared Miller?
Yep, we'll go reverse podium order, starting with Jared. Goodness me, mate. That was quite the race from you. You were up and down that field in the early stages, and obviously it took a while to actually get the feature started, but once you did, it looked like you were having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun, actually. There was kind of a little bit of grip up high, a little bit of grip down low, just kind of wherever you wanted to run if you could stick it there.
Indeed. You came into the late stages in contention for beating Jackson Whittington. Unfortunately, not quite able to, but still a podium here at one of the most famous dirt ovals in the world is nothing to sneeze at. You must be happy with your performance.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. I'm happy with it.
Well, As you should be. Hopefully next round is just as fruitful for you, Jared. Is there anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just my boy William Kirk.
Excellent
for
stuff.
him, we wouldn't be here, so.
Indeed. Big thanks to William Kirk, of course, finishing 11th here tonight. Jared Miller going to celebrate his podium there. And Zippy, it looks like Daniel Worthington is going to be the next man to speak with us.
Well, I've got to say, Daniel, what an absolutely incredible drive. Certainly, it was a very challenging race for sure. Certainly, we saw some incredible battles going on. I definitely enjoyed it. But tell us a little bit about what kind of technique you had to do to try and make 6 positions up in that main feature race.
It was definitely a handful. It's been, I can't even remember the last time I raced a dirt race. So I was kind of, dusting off the cobwebs. I want to apologize to the 27 there. I threw a slider. I think I got into him there towards the beginning of the race, but it was definitely a fun race, and definitely just got to keep your patience.
Well, certainly, I've got to say, they are incredibly difficult cars to drive. I gave it a go, and it's fair to say that I wasn't even able to get around 2 laps, let alone make it 50 laps even today. But incredible stuff. Daniel, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to shout out for today's performance?
Yeah, I got to thank my teammate Tom Hall. He actually got me in here to run with you guys in this league. I got to thank my family watching Flex Motorsports. That's my team. I'm running a really old paint scheme, so like I said, it's been a minute. I want to thank you guys broadcasting, and we're going to give her a go next week or whenever we race again. I forget when, but it was fun.
Well, I've got to say, fair play to you as well. And I do believe that Thomas Hall will be getting one of those 3D printed plaques now, because thanks to P1 Sim Sports, there is a referral program going. So anybody who races, signs up and does one race, they do get one of these fantastic plaques that look fantastic on your sim racing rig. But Daniel, thank you very much. Congratulations as well. And we're looking forward to seeing you running next week.
Appreciate it.
Well, I understand you've been able to catch up with the man who's been incredibly hard to defeat there, the one and only Mr. Jackson Whittington.
Yes, indeed. Man, that was quite the pressure you were under, Jackson, and you even lost the lead for a little bit, but managed to claw it back in those late stages. Eldora certainly turned it on. A great track for racing.
Yeah, I knew I was going to struggle going in there. This isn't my type of track at all. I mean, if you wrung out my shirt right now, I'd fill up a bathtub. I'm sweating that bad.
Understandable, mate. But regardless, able to fend off the attacks from the likes of Mr. Regan, Dorr, Hall as well, putting the pressure on you all the way through. Pretty much the whole field had a go at you at some point. Over 50 laps of racing in the feature, and one that was punctuated by a lot of caution extensions. Can you give any insight as to that?
And I really don't know. I didn't see much happen. I was struggling at first, like mentally, to deal with all the cautions. I was like, because I was about to pass for the lead on 3 or 4 different cautions, and as I was getting my run coming out of 2, they'd throw a caution. I know it's not his fault. It is what it is. Part of racing.
Of course, but you overcame it. You fought through the trenches and you came through for another victory this season. Next round, we go to Volusia Speedway Park, which is another track that's actually, now that I think about it, kind of similar to Eldora. So are you expecting to struggle there too?
I'm actually super excited for Volusia just because it's a little thinner than Eldora. I mean, corners are wide, but it's a really fun track, really racy track. It's one of my favorite tracks on this game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really looking forward to Volusia. Very unique shape, and you're right, certainly provides great racing. Well, hopefully we get a chance to chat to you after the feature next time. Mr. Whittington, is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
My mom and dad for actually turning my computer on for the past 2 races. What's it called? Twisted Speed, WMB Enterprises, 511 Designs for the wrap. That's about it.
Thank you very much, Jackson Whittington, and And we'll definitely catch you next week. In fact, we are going weekly races for the rest of the season.
And 4. Thank you.
All right, Zippy. That's going to end the chats to our drivers. And it looks like for your final chat, we've got our league administrator in with us.
Well, I've got to say, Mo, a very busy time for you on the race control for sure. Definitely a challenging set of circumstances. Indeed, you did a fantastic job though. But Mo, I want you to take this time to give a little bit of a shout out about your series, about your sponsor, and about this bounty hunter bet that you guys had going this evening.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I do want to give a great big shout out to all the sponsors. Definitely P1 Sim Sports for being the second man on this with me. Sometimes even the first guy out there, and helping me throughout this entire thing. And also 5-6 Graphics for everything that they're willing to sponsor for the guys, and also to Fusion Setup Shop, being willing to give the guys a few things for at the end of the season. Definitely on the series, I mean, we've came a long way, from the start. The first time you and I talked, I think I might have had maybe 9 guys signed up. I know we only had 11 guys, but tonight, but if you look at the roster, we do have a total of, I want to say we're upwards of 16 guys on the roster, but it's just that thing of, who's going to be able to make it to that race tonight. Especially with tonight being the midseason championship, double points, having that bounty, So the bounty is, we don't like to see, and this is nothing against Jackson, I'm sure he's going to hear this, but we don't like to see the same guy win every night. We want to try to put a bounty on them and get the guys like you saw tonight, where the guys are going to drive really hard. I told them, I said, hey, the bounty's out there. Don't wreck them. At least don't make it oblivious. I'm not trying to be dirty here, but don't make it oblivious. But, give him a run for his money. So that's like the first thing he said to me when we got to talk after the race was, he said, I got this cotton shirt on and this thing is soaked. He said, I am sweating. So, the first guy that beats Jackson this season will receive 50 points and $40. But now the kicker is, if let's say Jackson wins every race the rest of the season by some way, some manner, he will in return get some type of bounty back, for being the last man standing on this bounty.
I've got to say, it's the first time I've ever seen a league where there's been a bounty. Don't get me wrong, there's been discrete bounties where, incidents have happened in races and people are looking to get even. But, Mo, I've got to say, it definitely made for a more interesting show. Definitely have a look at the broadcast afterwards as well. Share it around. I did see the link go up on social media today. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But before we let you go, is there any other messages you'd like to give to the public, or indeed anybody looking to take part?
We will be running multiple seasons this year. We're doing our best to kind of run shorter seasons, but have them available all year round. With the dirt racing people, the people that race on dirt yearly, we're getting ready to go into our season for that. I grew up around dirt racing all my life. So my dad's getting ready to get his super late model up and going. This weekend's actually the first race for our local track. So I understand, trying to make these seasons is kind of rough, but that's why we're racing Tuesday nights at 8:30. So if anybody is, that sees this is wanting to get in on this, we will be running multiple seasons throughout the year, and we're looking to bring in more and more involvement with these with sponsors coming in and kind of helping out, make it a little bit more exciting, just like P1, 5-6, and Fusion. So that's just something for everybody to kind of look forward to.
Well, I know I'm certainly looking forward to it here on Pit Road Productions, Mo. It's been an absolute pleasure, but I think it's about time we bring this show to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see more of this, tune in next week. But Rhys, do the honors, sir.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in for this fourth round of the No Limit Racing Late Model Series. Reminder that for the remainder of the season, we are going weekly. It was every 2 weeks for the first part of the season, but every race from here on out, looking at the calendar, is a week apart. So we'll see you again this time next week at Volusia Speedway Park for round 5. I'm certainly looking forward to that one, and I hope you are too, Zippy. But for now, we are saying goodbye. I'm Rhys Gardner. Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the comms box and producing behind the scenes here on Pit Road Productions. Thank you very much once again to P1 Sim Sports for your support of this league and of us right here at PRP. Catch you later.